My wife and I have two daughters, 6 and 5 years old, which is prime Disney age. I'm not going to disagree with that, but I would say that in the eyes of the Disney Corporation, prime Disney age is approximately, I would say 3 till you die. They're both super into princesses and all that. We've talked about taking them to Disney over the next few years as we know they'd love it. My wife has never been before, and I've only been once when I was 10, not prime Disney age. It was definitely a memorable trip for me as my family had to save up a while for it. We've always known Disney would be our big trip with our girls. In July, my father-in-law got diagnosed with prostate cancer. After a few rounds of chemo and some intense stays at the hospital, it's only gotten worse. It spread across other organs in his body, and rather than trying to suffer to fight it, he's opted just to not do chemo and to try to live with what time he has left. As a result, him and my mother-in-law have decided to make more memories with family. One of these memories was to take our daughters to Disney and surprise them with the trip yesterday during Christmas. All right. Here comes the pivot. At first, I thought my wife would be against it as well. We've always said we wanted to get to experience taking them and seeing their faces. However, I found out my mother-in-law cleared it with my wife last month. My wife didn't tell me because she thought I would be surprised and excited for our daughters. My wife assumed that I was a normal person. Unfortunately, I've been deluding her for our entire relationship up to this point. I sat through the rest of the night, but when we got home, we had a serious discussion about it. I told my wife I didn't want our daughter's first trip to Disney to be without us. She suggested we go along, but the trip is in February, and booking flights, hotel tickets just for my wife and I for the time they're all going is going to be almost $5,000. Are they staying in Walt Disney's penthouse? Do you live in Antarctica? How long are they going for? I told my wife that we have to talk to her parents and decline the trip, but my wife is saying I'm being selfish and heartless by robbing our daughters of this experience and robbing them of a core memory with my father-in-law before he passes. Am I being out of line here? Yes. Yes. Like, listen, idiot. So sorry. Not only are your kids going to have like a great vacation, you're going to have like a week of like no kids. That's like a decade's worth of childless adult living. You know, you could go golfing. You could go to bed at you could go see a movie every night. You could go see all the movies you've missed out on the last decade. Check out The Big Short. It's a good one, okay? You could just nap. You could do whatever you want. And the only thing you miss out on is you aren't the person who takes them for the first time to Disney, which is fine because, like, with no disrespect to super into Disney adults, it's just like a place. It's not like you're not walking her down the aisle or something like that, and you're like, I'll get you on Marriage too. Like, it's literally just like a vacation. Like, who cares? Your in-laws are giving a free vacation to your kids, which is also going to give you and your spouse some breathing space. Like, you should just take the dub. Can't you could just get a photo of them when they're like at Disney and be like, that's what their faces looked like when they saw a real fake Mickey Mouse for the first time? Also, yeah, their father-in-law or their dad is dying, their grandpa's dying. Just trying to make some memories with the family. Like, yeah, obviously you're the... But here's the thing, you know what you should do? You should make sure they get the Genie Pass, right? Because if you just go, and I know how the older generations are, don't buy the Fast Pass. That's how they get you. They got you the second you made the reservation. All you can do now is decide whether you're going to spend all day in line or like 50% of the day in line. You got to get the Genie Pass or the Magic Band or whatever. You got to get the Fast Passes where available. You got to download the app. If you're already spending $5,000, you should just throw in the extra $100 to maximize it. I hate to say it. They got you. If you didn't want to get got, then your ass should have gone on like a road trip to see the world's largest moose statue or something like that. Hey, Ryan Son H, thanks for the gifted subscriptions. Thank you. You're the asshole. Your wife is right. I understand your disappointment in not being the first to take your kids to Disney. I don't. Different people can have different opinions and values, don't get me wrong. But I'm not even giving them this much credit. Like, what's the problem? If my parents are like, hey, we're going to take, is it cool if we take your daughter to Canada's Wonderland? I would be like, cool. You know, like, is there any way, can I help you? Can I give her some cash so she can pay for some meals or something like that? Like, this is, what a nice gesture. Canada's Wonderland isn't Disneyland? Yeah, but Disneyland isn't like a sacred place. It's just like, it's cool. It's a nice place to spend time, but it's not like, you know, it's not like a religious monument or something like. It's just it's a vacation destination. I like it. I'm just saying. You could just give her like a churro at home or a turkey leg or whatever. You can go to a Renaissance fair or something. They want to be there and see their excitement. Yeah, but like, put a number on it. Because that's what he's doing. He's saying $5,000 is too much, which is completely reasonable, by the way. But like at the same time, he's the one quantifying it. So I guess we're starting the bidding at $4,900. I just can't understand being like, I mean, maybe this is putting it in the worst faith way possible, but like, I'm depriving my 2 kids of a vacation because I want to be the one who takes them on that vacation. And it's not like a stranger is taking them. It's like, it's their grandparents. Like, you're basically saying like, sorry girls, you can't go to Disney this year because like I have a weird attachment to the corporation. Like, I need to be the one who takes you. You can't go to Disney with everybody knows you can't go to Disney with your grandparents for the first time. Every 5 and 6-year-old remembers every second of their first trip to Disney, and it has to be with your parents. Otherwise, it's just not the same thing. It's just weird. It's not weird to want to have memories with your kid. There's such like a insane take. What is weird is like, no, you don't get to make the memories until I make the memories. Like your grandparents, like your parents taking your kids to Disneyland is such a huge dub for all 3 generations. And you're just, you got a weird hang up that's leading you to throw like broken glass on the track. He is trying to ice skate uphill. I'm not afraid to say it. Anyway, you're the asshole. Your wife is right. I understand your disappointment in not being the first to take your kids to Disney. Listen, I know I got stung by the exact same line. After talking about it for 5 minutes, I don't. I still don't. These are special circumstances. If your father was not dying, it would be an insane request that they take them on vacation. Because he has a horrible terminal illness, we're going to make an exception. What are you talking about? He wants to create memories with his grandchildren that will last once he's gone. It's small-minded and selfish to take that opportunity away from him and your children just so you can be the first to have the experience with them. Do you think if you do this, your wife and daughter won't resent you? I mean, yes. Thank you. Sane comment, I think, though. It's Disney. They'll light up every time regardless of being the first trip. Yeah, they're kids. Of course. You think he's going to take his kids to Disneyland in like 4 years and they're going to be like, Mickey Mouse! And all he's going to be thinking about is like, I bet they were more excited by Mickey Mouse when my father-in-law took them. It's just not the same, kids. Oh, you really liked Lilo and Stitch's Hawaiian turkey leg last time you were here? I wanted to introduce you to Lilo and Stitch's pineapple braised Hawaiian turkey leg, but I guess that's okay that you have like all those good memories or whatever. It's just so weird. Everybody sucks here. What? Probably unpopular opinion. Second highest comment. You are reacting poorly. I get this is a memory you want to be able to make with your children and for it to be a once in a lifetime first. Your wife and in-laws should not have hid this from you. Yes, he has limited time. That is not a reason to cut you out of parenting decisions. I agree in principle, but I think that what's really the situation here is that they just expected you to be like a normal person and be like, whoa, have a fun time, girls. I mean, like, if you want to, again, in principle, I agree. But, you know, if your kid is staying at her grandparents' house for 3 days, do they need to call you before breakfast and make sure, like, you know, it's okay to have oatmeal this morning and, like, eggs the next morning and, like, be careful, we might go, let me call you back. We're on the way to Denny's right now. We'll get, and then at lunch at the same time, like, you can take it to the extreme. It's not it's not like, hey, I'm going to, you know, give your kid, you know, like a beer and they're 6 years old. It's like, it's Disney. It's what it's made for. You're the asshole. Don't take this incredibly thoughtful gift away from your children. Yep, I would say. It's Disney, bitch. You're the asshole. Drive to Florida. Okay, I'm going against the tide here, but I see an easy judgment. Your in-laws are not the asshole. They asked and were granted the opportunity. I can actually see your perspective. I would want there to be... It's just a simple rule of Reddit, by the way. The less line breaks you see, the more insane the comment is going to be. So this is why I went for this one right away. I would want to be there to experience my child's first trip to Disney too. However, you and your wife have exhibited poor judgment. She should not have agreed to this without your input. That is not acceptable. My only thought is she's too focused on making her father's last days joyful to consider all angles. What a bitch, dude. She's so selfish. How could you write that sentence with like a straight face and make no edits? It's crazy. She absolutely should not have agreed to this without your input. This is not acceptable. My only thought is okay, yeah. You have been presented with a tough situation. Wrong. In my opinion. In my opinion, wrong. But are more focused... You have been presented with a tough situation, but are more focused on your own feelings than those of everyone involved. The problem is your in-laws and children are blameless in this. Okay, we're almost there. Your in-laws and children are blameless in this. That only leaves 2 people, and you know you're not wrong, so it must all be your wife's fault. Is that where we're going with this? It will go well for you. It will not go well for you to yank this opportunity out from under them. However, I would like to point out another issue. Have they really thought this through? There are 2 people of somewhat advanced age, one of whom has terminal cancer and is doing chemo, and they want to chase 2 insanely hyped up young children around Disney for however long. You and your wife really need to find a way to go because I don't see that ending well for them. Okay, thank you, doctor. Thank you for your comment that says nothing at all. I wonder if the person with cancer thought about that. I might just be like a random person on the internet with no expertise or whatever, but like, let me explain it to you, okay? When you're sick, you might not be able to catch up to a 4-year-old kid in Disneyland, okay? You're the asshole, come on, man, ... Even Joe Biden knows that this guy is the asshole. You're the asshole big time. You're the asshole. That grandparent has very limited time. You're the asshole. Unpopular opinion, not the asshole. Okay, well, I think we're kind of going around in circles here. Either way, I'm like... Maybe it's my favorite, like, am I the asshole theme is just people who are just getting in their own way for no reason. The guy who started a... 10-day-long argument with his spouse over, like, he didn't want to eat chicken salad because he had been outside in the cold all day. Like, you just relax your life. Sit down, simmer, eat the chicken salad. She's going to be like, I got to go to the bathroom real quick. When she goes up to the bathroom, eat a granola bar. It's not a big deal. Get an electric blanket or something. These are all solvable problems. Let your dying father-in-law take your 2 kids to Disney World. Enjoy the photos that you get, you know, because this is a once-in-a-lifetime experience that they're going to make this memory together. Take your wife out for 2 date nights in 1 week. You may never get the opportunity again until, your kids move out of the house. Sleep in for 30 minutes. It's probably been 8 years since you slept in for 60 seconds. You sleep in for 30 minutes, it's going to feel like you had a 14-hour sleep. You're going to work off like a decade of sleep debt in a single week. Just get out of your own way, man. It's not that hard. It's Disney. Bob Iger would throw your ass in a garbage disposal if it brought the Disney stock price up a quarter point. And you know what? He would be right to do it because that's the obligation the CEO has to the shareholders in his messed up system, okay? But he would do it in a heartbeat. He would say, thank you so much for treating Disneyland, our profit-generating theme park enterprise, with the reverence it deserves. Now get in the garbage disposal. I'll hit the button. You think Bob Iger would do the same for you? No shot, dude. Still just 23. France's phenom Mbappe is having another World Cup of a lifetime. That's not an Am I the Asshole? That is an ad from the Wall Street Journal for some reason. Very timely. Am I the asshole for telling my daughter she could learn something from my friend's daughter who got a job she didn't? I'm 49 and my daughter is 22. I've changed the names in this post. My best friend Tom's daughter Kate is an architecture major. She got accepted to college in California and graduated with good results. My daughter Anne also went into architecture and she's doing well. She's generally a quieter person. She does tend to laze around a little bit. Both Anne and Kate applied for a job at the same firm, which is co-owned by Tom's brother. She didn't end up getting the job, but Kate did, and she was very upset. She's moved on and got offers from a couple other places. Okay? We had a friend's Christmas a couple of days after. By the way, I'm starting to understand why so many people go into architecture. When your best friend's brother owns an how many architecture firms do you own in your circle of friends and family? I don't think I know a single person in architecture, but I also don't know anybody who owns an architecture firm. I have to imagine if I did, the number would shoot up. I guess it's not causal. It might just be coincidence, but we had a friend's Christmas a couple of days after actual Christmas where some of my college buddies and their families got together. The conversation turned to Tom and his wife, and they were talking about Kate's new job. I saw Anne and Kate talking, and we congratulated her. We all came home. Anne left. This is too many details. I don't know what's happened. Get to the meat. We all came back home together. Anne left her car at our place, and I went back to her apartment after. Who cares? This is why all architecture majors must be forced to take a persuasive writing class, because this is just it's inefficient communication. There's too many details. I don't need to know where you're going to be running the water and gas mains through. I just need directions to get to room 6108, okay? That's a load supporting sentence? I bet it is. She started saying she has to work so hard to get what Kate gets handed to her. I said, this is a competitive field and Anne should be more diligent. She blew up at me and my wife, saying we're egging Kate and Tom on, and apparently Kate told Anne she could help her out. I eventually told Anne she needs to stop sulking over Kate. Yes, maybe Kate had an edge of the firm, but from what I've heard from Tom, she always works on herself and is getting better, and Anne could learn something. Well, Anne got pretty angry after that. Both me and my wife called her, but she didn't answer. I don't think what I've said is wrong, but my younger daughter thinks otherwise and said I should post on here. Who cares? It's not that big of a deal. I don't feel like I should say you're the asshole. I'm just like, I don't know enough about your life I can't compare the CV of your daughter and the other person based on this situation. I guess, you should probably be a little bit more supportive of your daughter in a situation like this, but at the same time, I don't know. It sounds like she got nepotism, right? Like she had a nepotism connection to the firm, but somebody else had a better one. And now she's like, I hate nepotism. I don't know. That's what I'm getting from this post, that it's 7 paragraphs, but it says nothing at all. It says nothing of value. Am I the asshole for telling my family they can't use Spanish on Christmas Day or my husband and I aren't coming? Uh, Probably. It'd be worse if your husband was doing it, that's for sure. Do we even have to read it? I like the crazy ones. My family is Mexican and we live in Texas. Everyone in my family is bilingual. They tend to mix English and Spanish constantly. My siblings' spouses have all learned some Spanish, some better, some worse, but they can still participate in all conversations. I've been with my husband for 10 years. He took a few classes but found it too difficult and decided that he can't learn a language as it's his thing, just like math isn't his thing, and he dropped it. Okay, what's his thing? Because we got two things that are not his thing. What is his thing? I need to jump to his defense a little bit, okay? This will be our 9-year wedding anniversary in May. So I've been married to Kate for 9 years. Her family all speaks Korean. I don't speak Korean. Sometimes people are like, why don't you just learn Korean? Because I fucking don't want to. No disrespect. I got other shit going on. I got a job to do. I got a household to manage. I got like my own hobbies and stuff like that. It's not, if they could just like jack it into my brain and it would be there, I would sign on the dotted line. But it's like a big undertaking. So you know what happens? They at Chuseok and Seollal and Christmas and whatever, everybody speaks Korean, and then my ass just like eats the food. And it's completely fine. It's not a problem in the slightest. They have conversations, I'm sure, about people that I am not even aware exist. Distant uncles and cousins and so on and so forth. And I just eat the yummy food and have a great time. Every once in a while, they want either Kate or maybe Kate's sister or brother-in-law. They'll translate for me and say, like, this is what we're talking about right now. And then I'll add like a comment or something like that. And then they'll go back to talking in Korean and I just go back to eating the food. And there's like actually nothing wrong with it whatsoever. I never feel slighted. In fact, one time Kate and I went to her parents' house for Chuseok, which is like, it's Korean Thanksgiving, but it's also like there's a religious significance to it. It's having to do with your, honoring your ancestors in particular, instead of just the food that you're eating. And while we were there, they set up the feast for the ancestors and stuff like that. And then we all sat down on the floor and they handed me a Bible. And then her parents like sang hymns with us. But like my ass is not religious and a bad singer, and their English is not very good. They clearly would have been happier to be singing it in Korean. So I just felt like actually I was an imposition. They should have just been singing it in Korean and my ass would just be eating the food again. It was a nice gesture, but I actually felt like over accommodated, which is fine, but also like no disrespect to the religious. The hymns don't follow the conventions of music that have been set out in 21st century pop and rock music. The syllables are all, you have to have heard the song, like, they're like, oh, the words are in the book. Yeah, but like the notes are not in the book. And then sometimes there's like a run-on sentence, and sometimes there's like they drop a syllable on a word. And sometimes you're like, you say over the mountain, you look like an asshole because everybody knows it's o'er the mountain. Every valley shall be frickin' exalted, and the hills laid bare. So you can't just give them the book and then be like, just follow along. Anyway. Sorry. I've been to church. I've been to weddings. A few funerals. I got baptized, which is crazy. I never got confirmed, which is crazy because if they had just, like, I don't remember my baptism, but they should have just gone through with the confirmation Because then my ass will be snacking every single time. I get that I could, and nobody's like asking for your ID when you go up to take the sacrament, but it just doesn't feel right. Like, if, it feels like too much of an edgelord thing to do for me to like walk up and be like, just kidding, Father. The stolen sacrament. Like, I don't think that it's going to create, a problem for me in the afterlife or whatever. I'm just more like, it just seems disrespectful. Anyway, I forgot what I was talking about. Did I even read this whole? That didn't even come close. I'm just saying, to me, it's the same energy when people are like, "Oh, if my spouse's family spoke a different language, I would simply learn the language." Yeah, sure. And if you lost your hair, you'd be jacked with like a 6% body fat. If your ass could do it, you'd be doing it already. I don't know what language it is. Oh, what if I picked the wrong language and I accidentally just happened to learn a useful language, but it's not the right one? Then I'd feel stupid. Yeah, listen to yourself. Some people do and some people don't. I said, "Do you speak my language?" She just smiled and gave me a Vegemite sandwich. And she said, "You come from a land down under." Ooh, yeah. Anyway, also the other thing is, because I lived in Korea, I know enough to at least laugh when it's time to laugh. 실례합니다. Burger King 어디에요 주세요? Burger King. Dude, I know, I recognize that word. I can't. Burger King, I can't. What's a vampire's favorite drink? Kopi. I can't. Because kopi is Korean for coffee, but kopi is also two words. Ko is nose and pi is blood. Nose blood. What's a vampire's favorite beverage? Nose blood. Oh, man. Anyway, I can't. The kids I was teaching used to go crazy for that one. Teacher, do the vampire joke again. Anyway, I've been with my husband for 10 years. Right, he simply can't learn Spanish. Okay, I accept that. I'm in the same boat. I mean, I could learn Korean. Honestly, I don't want to invest the time. I don't know what you want me to say. I'm not going to make up a bunch of fake excuses. Here's the thing. It's hard, and like, my ass is just, I don't have the desire, to be honest. I'm not going to say it's not my thing. I'm sure if I dedicated a lot of time to it, I got a head start. I'm ahead of the average for sure. I would love to speak it, but I don't want to go through the work of having to learn how to speak it. And I think that's okay. Every family gathering, he feels left out. Okay, well, there's your problem, idiot. You should look forward to being left out. You can think about your own stuff. You could, look at your phone now and then. It's no big deal. He feels left out because everyone switches back and forth and he doesn't understand them. I have to translate for him and it must be really uncomfortable for him. This year he said he's not coming. He feels excluded. What is wrong with you? It's okay. Different people speak different languages. If you're not going to learn you can't have it both ways. You can't be like, I'm not going to learn the language, but also I'm going to be mad that they're speaking that language. You might think about it this way, okay? They're one generation up. They're speaking Spanish, okay? You're like, I don't want to learn Spanish. Please talk in English. You don't know. You might have 3 kids. They might marry people from 3 different parts of the world. I would just get used to not being able to understand what everyone's saying. It frees you from the chains of the social contract. Your ass could just be watching TV. They all speak English? It's true, but at the same time, I think like if one person that's not bilingual comes, and then is like, hey, can you guys just like completely, you're supposed to be relaxing, right? It's the holidays. Can you completely change the way that you speak naturally when you're relaxed, just to accommodate me? My ass would be like, no. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy too, because you probably weren't talking about his ass to begin with, but he was like, hey, can you guys speak English? Next time they speak Spanish, they're definitely talking about his ass. 100%. And it's not going to be flattering. This year, he said he's not coming. He feels excluded. Even when he talks with non-Mexican spouses, they mix and match languages, and he feels like it's to mock him because there's no need to. Who even are you? What do you mean that you just go... You feel like you're being condescended to when somebody speaks a different language? Just like, you're not the main character. It's okay. You think they're like, whoa, check this out. Never seen this one before. Someone who doesn't speak Spanish. Crazy. Can you get a load of this guy? Anytime I'm saying anything not in English, it must be they're shit-talking me for not speaking Spanish. I called my mother and told her, they must promise not to speak Spanish because it's excluding my husband or we're not coming. My mother was angry. She told me they're not going to police their speech and they were accommodating for the first few years. And he made no effort. It's ridiculous. He doesn't even try. I told her he did try, but she knows it's difficult for him. She said he's no longer invited. I can come on my own. I was really angry and repeated my ultimatum. This did not go good. Let me know how that goes. This did not go down well. My whole family's pissed off. My husband is on my side and I don't know anymore. Am I the asshole for giving them the ultimatum? Yeah, I definitely think it's messed up to basically ask your family not to speak their native language at the holidays just because one person doesn't speak it. Like, I do. I think that's crazy. And I'm kind of like, I don't know if this makes me less based or more based, but I'm in the same situation in the sense that, like, I don't know what is being said at a lot of these dinners. I know my role. I say hello, nice to see you again, handshakes and hugs. I pretend to follow the conversation for a while, then get lost in my own head, and then I reach for the bill when it comes. And it's just normal. I don't, like... It's not weird at all. I mean, here's the thing. It would be insane if I talked to my wife and was like, hey, your parents need to speak English when I'm around. It's disrespectful. That shit is crazy. I would never have the stones to do it. And I have too much of a brain to ask for sure. But then secondarily, if Kate's parents were like, he needs to learn Korean, I would be like, fuck that. Like, why? We're getting along just fine. Like, nobody makes demands of other people. We go out to dinner, we communicate on the common ground that we can find, and then we get in our separate vehicles and we go back to our own homes. It's completely okay. Yeah, how about we both learn Farsi? Let's compromise. I speak Korean very poorly. My English is fantastic. Your Korean's amazing. I'm sure your English isn't that good. Let's learn Farsi together. That could be a good bonding experience. It's a little King Solomon, but let's all learn a third language together so we're suffering equally. Anyway, yeah, I think, like, I don't even need, like, I'm trying to telepathically express to this guy that, like, it's just normal. Like, it's not weird to not speak. Like, in life, I hope that you're blessed enough to travel to places where not everybody is going to be speaking the language that you know, especially if you only know one language. Like, you should travel and be in, like, another country and get used to the idea that when you're out at a restaurant, you can't understand what's happening around you at all times. You can't kibitz on every conversation. Instead you have to make conversation with your spouse. So it's not weird. The fact that he thinks it's a solution that needs to be rectified and without any effort on his own part is the crazy part to me. Because the way I see it is like there's a couple of other options, or a couple of options here. One option is like learn Spanish. And if that's not possible, the other option is just shut the hell up. Enjoy the food. Enjoy being around the family, even if you're not in on 100% of the conversation. Maybe you're only in on like 35. Who cares? Watch some football, and then you're good. What's the issue? I don't get it. Spanish is kind of easy to learn. Well, I mean, listen. I also I don't want to get myself into trouble. I don't know if it's easy to learn. But if I lived in Texas, I might put in a little extra effort to learn Spanish. There's a lot pushing in favor of that, It seems like it would be a little advantageous. Just knowing the Korean alphabet is enough for me to get around in Vancouver. I went to the Korean supermarket by myself, with my daughter actually on Sunday, and the grocery list was written in Korean, all the food's in Korean. You know what I did? I learned the alphabet like 12 years ago, and I was just like shabu shabu sogogi. Okay, that's hot pot beef. Let's grab that. Put it in we need 2 packs of gedni. We need a little kimchi. We need some myeochi. We need some samjang. We need some gochujang. We need some gochugaru. We need some, and then we're going to go to Delaware. Then we're going to go to Washington. And Hangul is really easy on the alphabet side for sure. I was stunned. My nieces, like their parents are Korean. They were born in Korea. My nieces don't know how to read the Korean alphabet. I was like, I could teach it to you in like an hour. There's like 17 letters and they all always sound the way that they're written. Teach us? No, you should literally just teach yourself like while you're watching this stream. It's so easy. Not always. Yeah, but they're fucking like 12 and 8. For their purposes is always. It's pretty unlikely they're going to find themselves in a situation where they need to make this syllable. I've never even done it. I hear it now and then, but I've never done it. Well, never on purpose. What if they need to intimidate a snake? They should just say, Chugole, snake, do you want to die? Yeah, we're teaching our daughter how to speak Korean. Like, it's slow going. Because here's the thing. People also say, like, if I had a kid and, like, I was bilingual, I would teach them both languages. Well, yeah, but, like, sometimes you got other shit on the go. Sometimes you're just like, eat your damn grilled cheese. Yeah, no, I mean, I say I don't speak Korean, but I speak enough Korean to teach a little bit to like, like a 2-year-old. I'll say like, honey, that's grandma on the phone. Can you say 안녕하세요, 할머니? 안녕하세요, 할머니. And when I'm at when I'm at North Road Plaza, Corey will back me up on this one. When I'm at North Road Plaza, it's like being back in Daegu. I'm walking into convenience stores, they're saying 안녕하세요, I'm saying 안녕하세요. No matter what they say, if I don't understand what they're saying, I just go, 네, 네, 네. And then they present me with a bill, I tap my card, and then they say 안녕히 계세요, I say 안녕히 계세요. And then I walk out the door. 감사합니다. I know a little bit I know enough Korean to get around at least. That's all you need to know how to do in Korea. I worked with a woman in Korea, We were both ESL teachers. 1 year living there, she never learned how to say thank you. It blew my mind. At that point, it's like a willful ignorance. Like, I can understand not making an effort to learn the language, but to not even know thank you when everybody says it to you 4 times every time you go to a store is just crazy. She was not American. She is Canadian. No! Anyway, you're the asshole? Well, your husband is the asshole. A couple classes isn't enough to claim he can't get it. Sure, okay, true. Him being upset people dare speak a language he can't and feeling mocked also isn't anyone's problem but his own. Everyone, the asshole. ETA with this getting attention, I want to say there are some edit to add. With this getting attention, I want to say I know some people simply can't learn languages, and that's not their fault. But to me, it seems like the husband is not trying at all instead of trying hard and failing. Listen, Mothman NFT, you're like right for the wrong reasons. Why should he have to learn the language? I know that this sounds like I'm coming at this from like the worst faith take possible. But like, why should he have to learn, even if he only spoke Spanish? Let's start there. And it was Texas. I still don't think he should necessarily have to learn English just because his spouse's family speaks English. If you were to flip the languages, I still think that he's living his life. If he's able to live his life and the only consequence of being monolingual is like 3 times a year he doesn't know what people are saying at dinner, big deal. That's like learning a language is a huge endeavor. He shouldn't have to learn the language. What he should do is just shut the hell up about feeling excluded if he's not going to learn the language. That's the big one. There's nothing like, and maybe it hits me a little closer because people are always like, well, you've like been married for 9 years, you don't know how to speak Korean? No, and I don't think I'm going to learn. It's like that shit is not easy. That doesn't mean it's not worth doing. I got I got other shit on the go. You had 9 years and still haven't participated? They've had 9 years. They're still not participating. We're both not participating. It's not a cold war. It's like a cold peace. We're all having a great time. I'm sure if they wanted to better their English, they would be bettering their English, but they're busy. I would love to have better Korean, but I've got other shit on the go. Like we're living our lives. You're the asshole. 10 years, he hasn't learned enough Spanish to even get by. That's on his shoulders. Bro, life's complicated, okay? Listen, they're going after the right guy, but for the wrong reasons. Just because you're married to someone, you don't have to speak the language that their parents speak. That was not anywhere in the agreement to begin with. Okay, but 10 years? Listen. You know right now that you should exercise more. You know you should eat right. You know you should learn how to cook. You've had 10 years to figure it out. Why are you not doing it right now? It's different for me. It's different for me. It's different for me. If my spouse's parents were both professional personal trainers, I would make an effort. Okay, you probably would. And maybe you'd stick with it. But statistically speaking, probably I'll catch you in the same chair 10 years later, looking roughly the same. Maybe a little worse. Just that's how things do with the passage of time. Also, as you get older, at least, if you're roughly around my age, the older you get, the busier you get. So if you weren't going to knock that shit out when you were 21, tick-tock, motherfucker, your window's getting even shorter. Because you're going to have way more shit on the go in 10 years than you do right now. So I'm just trying to say, I don't think there's any reason he should feel like he has to learn Spanish. What he should do is just not listen. If they're talking about him, they're not go. Why would? Are you stupid? Are they going to talk about you in front of your face in Spanish? That would be so uncomfortable. Hey, Daryl's here. Let's save up all the shit that we've been storing and just unleash it in his face while he's sitting there. Wouldn't that be funny? These people are not evil. They'll talk about you after you leave. They'll be like, I can't believe this motherfucker hasn't learned Spanish yet. Yeah, knowing his wife is sitting right there and at any moment could be like, what the hell did you just say about my husband? They'll wait till you leave and talk smack about you. In English, maybe. Like, just go, eat the food, watch the TV. Cheers. How's the job? How's the house coming along? Get in your car, go home. That's it. It's the holidays. Just relax. But I think the fact that they're losing the forest through the trees. He shouldn't have to learn how to speak Spanish. It's not a moral failing that he doesn't know how to speak Spanish. It's a moral failing that he thinks absolutely everybody should be speaking English around him at all times so he doesn't feel left out. That's the character flaw. What if they have Spanish shows on the TV? Then you just watch them. Have you really only been in a unilingual situation for literally like 100% of your entire life? You never been at like a Vietnamese restaurant? Your ass is like eating the best pho you've ever had, but you're watching like Vietnam's Got Talent, wondering what the hell's going on. People are like juggling field hockey sticks. You just sit and you watch it, you just be entertained by it being unusual by your standards. You're the asshole. 10 years. Sorry, I read this one. Seriously, 10 years and the most Spanish he probably knows is nacho cheese chalupa, por favor. Bro, he's literally like, what is wrong with people? He literally did not say that. He might be in incredible shape. It's so fucked up. I think I was behind him at Taco Bell. Ordered a quesadilla, extra mild sauce, please. So true, so true. I was there, and OP knew how to say quesadilla. That's how I know they're cultured. They like their Mexican cheese sandwiches to be pronounced authentically at the Taco Bell. Mild sauce would be too hot for him. I thought that, when he said extra mild sauce, I don't think a lot of people picked up on the joke. I really appreciate you spelling it out in a more obvious way. Ketchup is too spicy for this dude. Okay, we're going back for thirds. Salt's definitely pushing it. Fourth, put some pepper in his meal. I bet he'd cry. Dude literally made like one mistake, and it's the vultures are just circling around him. I always thought people who say they suck at math tend to say they're good at something else like English or languages. What is he good at then? You're both the asshole? What if I told you that there are more things on earth than just math and language? There's a few more. Hey, for example, like how do you think like all the walls in your fucking house and the roof, and the pipes, all the plumbing, all the wires, how do you think that shit came together? The roads, all the infrastructure you rely on every single day. That's math? Well, at one level. But it's also a lot of hot shirtless guys just hanging drywall all day. That's not math. That's blood, sweat, and tears. And maybe a Budweiser in your lunchbox. At first, I read that to say he's a math person, but he isn't great at English or the humanities or language. But if he sucks at math and he sucks at language skills, then what the fuck could he possibly be good at? Maybe he's good at fucking your mom. It's another skill we haven't talked about here. I bet he could talk your ear off about the intricacies of the Civil War, just that war, but he's an ace at that for sure. Okay, because he hasn't learned Spanish, now he's flying a Confederate flag everywhere. Or he's a historian with a very narrow level of narrow area of expertise, and then we're insulting historians for some reason. I don't really understand. Whining and complaining. He's good at whining and complaining. He's got a true talent for that. He also seems to be good at finding a wife that is good at catering to his whims. I can't see how he wouldn't have accidentally learned enough Spanish to get by after 10 years just by being around them. What are you talking about? This motherfuckers will watch The 13th Warrior and be like, that's how that shit works. Are you crazy? In the movie, this reminds me of the movie The 13th Warrior, where Antonio Banderas gets kidnapped by Norsemen, and just from being a prisoner of war, in 1 year, he picks up the Norse language. That shit was written by Uwe Boll, man. Somebody translate for me what Haciendo Pucheros is. They translate it, it's pouting. He was moping. Dog house. You'd have to really be trying not to learn. What the hell are you talking about? My ass been listening to Livin' La Vida Loca since 1999. I don't speak Spanish. Right? I've been with my mostly Spanish-speaking boyfriend over a year, and even though I don't speak it very well at all, I can at least understand enough to get by and answer sí or no. You don't speak it, you liar! I've been with him for a year. I don't really speak Spanish, but I know yes and no. That's nothing! That's all you need? I mean, as the person being brought to family dinner, that is really all you need. You don't have the pressure to actually carry the conversation until you've been a mainstay on the cast for like 5 or 10 years. Like, I'm now just getting to the point where I can lead the conversation for like 5 minutes. And it feels good that they've trusted me with that level of responsibility. Like, I can get through a whole story with ups and downs. It's no longer like, oh, this is really good. You're the asshole. I am a white man who married into a Mexican family. I find that ultimatum disgusting. Well, I think that's true. I don't speak Spanish. I don't expect the rest of the family to only speak in English. He's just like me. He's me for real. Your husband needs to stop whining. Either he puts more effort into learn the language or he deals with not being able to understand everything. It's not their problem that he has a problem. I told you, finally, there's other normal guys out there like me. And it's even better because he doesn't speak Spanish. He's probably bald, too. Just guessing. It's probably my alt account. You can also find him posting an r/northernline saying, actually, today's stream was really good and NL wasn't really mad. Stop writing comments that say he's really mad. He was just putting on a character for a bit. And it did not make the vibes weird. It made the vibes better. I went back and watched the stream again because the vibes were so good. Anyway, I don't know. It's crazy people were... I mean, you could dunk on the guy, but they just make... Like, he already is, like, showing, like, half of his ass. And they're like... Imagine if he showed his whole ass. Just from this one data point, I know everything about your husband who didn't even give his side of the story. Queso chalupa, por favor. Fuck you. He could use a translator app, spend some time on a language app and learn phrases. Let's not delude ourselves into thinking this guy is going to get himself to fluency by doing 15 minutes of Duolingo a day, okay? That's a bill of sale that they are trying to peddle on you. That being said, I've thought about, like, what if I used a translator app at dinner? And I honestly think that shit would be annoying as hell if I was on the other end of it. I'm telling a story that doesn't involve... the person that doesn't speak the language, and I hold on. Uncle Jiwan went to Hanam yesterday, and you won't believe what happened. Okay, proceed. They were out of Napa cabbage and only had green cabbage. Continue. That would be so annoying. Well, anyway, I think we're all on the same page here. My 75-year-old mom has learned enough Spanish to be somewhat conversational in less than 5 years. What's your husband's excuse? He's probably working. He's got other shit on the go. Like, sorry. My mom's got more hobbies than me. What's my excuse? Her ass is retired. She put in her time, and now she's reaping the rewards on the other end. She can do whatever she wants. My family needs me. Society needs me. I'm under the gun right now. Okay, slash marker.